Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank, where the AFC Wimbledon Wimbly Womblys have found themselves on Italia. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Torino, Italy, on our European adventures, which we get to go on account of our great performance in the FA Cup. Now, as you can see, we're currently in third. We got to finish in one of those top two spots at the end of this roundy robiny. We're playing the best team in our group away. Very nervous times. Really need to win this game. Really hoping to win this game. Gonna be difficult, but lots of things in life are difficult and still accomplished. I mean, look, we used to be in the 9th tier of English football. Now we're all the way up in the championship. Life is full of wonderful surprises and also terrible surprises. Today I'm going to be talking about third-party candidates in the U.S. Election. There are two who are on a lot of ballots. I think the Libertarian candidate, Gary Johnson, is on every ballot in the U.S., but in every state. For those of you who don't live in the U.S., states, the sort of subset beneath the nation, states have more power in the U.S. than they do in most nations, at least European nations. So the rules are different. The election rules are different in each state. How you get onto a ballot is different. So not every state has the same candidates for president on it. Every state has the Democratic candidate, who this year is Hillary Clinton, and the Republican candidate, who this year is Donald Trump. And then I think every state also has the Libertarian candidate. Many states have the Green Party candidate, who is Jill Stein. Some states have other candidates. There's a Constitution Party in the U.S., many smaller parties, etc. Nobody's going to like what I have to say in this video, so we'll just start there, which is that either, in my opinion, there cannot be a, in the long or even medium term, there cannot be a healthy third party in the United States, or even, wow, that was a quick set of moves from Torino and a little bit terrifying, and then that happened. There cannot be a third party candidate in the U.S. who has kind of, or a third party in the U.S. that has ongoing success because of first past the post voting. So basically, over the long term, CGP Grey has a great video about this that I'll link to in the description, but over the long term, if there is a third party that grows in support enough, it will just merge with the smaller second party and become the second party, as long as we have first past the post voting, which is to say that as long as your voting is basically a binary choice. You can't rank candidates. You're saying I vote for this person or no one. You're going to end up with two big parties in U.S. national politics. There can be, independent senators and congresspeople. You could even elect an independent president, but over time, if that independent president represents a political party, it will either merge with one of the two parties or remain a small party. I might be wrong about that. Of course, I might be wrong about any of this. I might be wrong about anything. I'm wrong all the time. That's the nature of having an opinion. If you don't think that you might be wrong, there's a problem. But that's what I think based on what I've seen in American history and what I think the structure of our government and electoral politics is sort of the kind of, oh boy, that's a good goal from Torino. There's no doubt about it. We've been dominated. They've been great. Credit to them. We do not have as good of a team as they do. But we're still going to try, because that's who we are as people and as players. I've talked to the boys about this before the game, that they were going to face difficulties today, like, for instance, terrible crosses, but that they were going to have to, in the face of those difficulties, find a way forward. That doesn't necessarily mean winning or even tying, but it does mean playing with dignity and representing ourselves well while we are in Italy. So that's my message to the guys. That's a great cross! Oh, Akinfenwa. Wow. That was a fierce cross from, I believe, the great Dr. Frankenstein. Really good, beautiful stuff right there. Very encouraging to see Frankenstein back from injury and whipping in the crosses with some ferocity to them. So anyway, I think if you vote for a third party, you should do so with the knowledge that either you're trying for this third party to become America's second party at some point in the future, or that it's a protest vote. I wish, I think the Libertarian Party of the third parties has done the best job of building a political party that isn't just running a national campaign, which is a campaign that you just cannot win. Like, the Green Party is not going to have the next president of the United States. And so, but you can win school board races and stuff, and down ballot races, and those are the races that I think you really need to be contesting if you want to be a serious force in American politics. And so I think the Libertarian Party has done a good job of that. I mean, for the record, like, I disagree with the Libertarian Party on lots of important things, but I disagree with lots of people on lots of things. Come on! Oh, is that in the net? No, it's side netting. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, Dicko. I started you because you're a force and you're a finisher. But you got to say, things have gotten a little bit better for the Wimbly Womblys since we went down 1-0, except for the part where we're down 1-0. I guess that's the part that got worse. So, right, I think if you vote for a third party, I think it's fine to vote for... I think if you vote for a third party, you have to understand that it's a protest vote, and you have to understand the consequences of that protest vote, which is that the two major party candidates, I'm talking only about presidential politics at the moment, one of those people is going to be president of the United States. There is a dramatic difference between those two people and their policy positions. There is a huge difference between, for instance, the taxation policy proposals of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. A massive, massive difference. And there is a massive difference between the kinds of Supreme Court justices that they would pick, which has huge implications for the future of the country, and we'll face big decisions, not just on social issues, but on issues like the personhood of corporations and the role of corporations in American life and stuff like that. They are very different candidates with very different proposals and very different ideas about how to govern, what the role of government should be in the U.S., etc. I don't buy the argument that, it's just two people who are functionally the same because they're both in bed with corporate America. Don't get me wrong, they are both in bed with corporate America, but I know they aren't functionally the same because I remember in 2000 saying to my brother that these are two candidates who are functionally the same. And when I look at the last 20 years of American history, I see very clearly that the country would be different. And frankly, the world would be different if Al Gore had won that election instead of George W. Bush. It's very unlikely that we would have gone to war with Iraq. It's possible, but it's not likely. And that would have changed the shape of American life quite a bit, and also, of course, would have changed the shape of the rest of the world pretty dramatically. I also think that it's not just about that. Like, I also, I think when it comes to big issues about like what our healthcare system should look like, big issues like whether there should be a social safety net for seniors in the form of Social Security, or a healthcare system for seniors in the form of Medicare, or for poor people in the form of Medicaid. That's some great ball work. We've got a great opportunity here, but Dicko can't finish. Wow. My critics will say that in that situation I had to pass the ball, and they're probably not wrong, but my heart said no. The heart wants what it wants, and the heart wanted Dicko. Oh, another fantastic save. Frustration for the Wimbly Womblys, riding high. Dicko shooting and shooting and shooting, but he just can't seem to score the goal. Just can't seem to make it happen yet. Oh, hope springs eternal. It's Ginger Harry, but he gets ahead on the ball, but it's not enough. It's not enough. You could say we want our tallest player not taking corner kicks, but guiding them into the goal with his big, beautiful orange head. But yeah. So that's basically the reason there's a bunch. I'm in enthusiastic supporter of a genuinely enthusiastic supporter of Hillary Clinton. I think that she will be a good president. I don't I don't unambiguously support her. I don't agree with her about everything, but I think she'll be a very good president. And I think that Donald Trump would be a very, very poor president. And that's just basically, I feel pretty strongly about that. I hope that I hope if he is elected that he proves to be a good president. This is not a matter of rooting against someone or rooting against the country by any means, but I think that he would be a very poor president. And so those two factors make this a very easy decision for me. But I know not everybody feels that way, and I know that there are lots of undecided voters watching this. And again, I think the worst thing that you can do, the only way to I think the worst thing that you can do is either be a completely uninformed voter or not be a voter. I think it is extremely important to vote. Otherwise, you are basically saying that you don't care and that you think it's all the same. And I would argue that there are lots of people who sacrificed a lot so that you could have the ability to vote, and that you should take that opportunity. But I think when it comes to third-party candidates, if you agree with their policy proposals, that's obviously important. But you also have to remember that it's not just that these people will not be elected president in this cycle. It's that the nature of U.S. presidential politics is such that it is impossible for there to be a third party unless and until we change first past the post voting. I'm probably going to make these substitutions too late, but I just noticed that John Green is extremely tired. We're bringing in these players, and we're going to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. That's probably not good to bring in a central back in that role, so I'm going to not do that. But obviously things are dark for the Wimbly Womblys. It's time to throw caution to the wind a little bit and go all-out attack and hope for the best. 86th minute, doesn't look great, but Ginger Harry gets the ball, but they get the ball back, and it's darkness everywhere. Can you guys press up a little bit? Because they've only got one attacking player. Okay, it's Will Nightingale. He's a center back, but he's going all the way. Nope, he's passing. It's Frankenstein. Frankenstein into the box! Dicko fails. Wow. Let's make these substitutions all at once, just like the pros do. Frankenstein whipping across in! Oh, frustration! Wow. Wimbly Womblys go down 1-0. Wow. Devastating. Really difficult, but congratulations to Torino. So that's my thought. I'm interested to see the raging arguments and comments. Try to be civil and respectful. I know that it's difficult at times, especially when you feel baited. And I know that it's hard, but again, I do think that there is a place for a wide variety of political expression in the United States. But the function of first past the post voting is, I worry, to eventually put that wide expression into two hopefully large-ish broad camps. So, all right. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I lost. Best wishes.